And I guess my question is, after 17 years, is it done or has it evolved?
I'm going to go with evolved. I'm trying to become part of that evolution, or I'm really trying to push that evolution, because I do see that what we've done is glorious. We've done some glorious things. Like take, for instance, CICD is a big part of this. That's continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous delivery, which side you want to go on. Um, that's been a big part of it, and that's a beautiful pattern. Before we were doing that, we were doing a lot of things by hand, and we were diagnosing, debugging, and managing a lot of very intricate issues between versions and repos and things like that. And so the pattern of let's have an automated build process central so that everybody submits code from all over the place. That thing will always be the system of record for what is what and where everybody is on it. There's not a stale machine that doesn't have your updates yet or that kind of thing. It's the central piece. That alone is really important. That automation is really important that goes along with it. And the notion that when I build something, it's going to be built the same way every time. It's a fantastic thing, and I bought into that fully when I was introduced to it way back then. But it for a lot of companies was just good enough. And in the same sense of any kind of evolution, we don't have the most ideal features of any given species isn't equipped with the ideal features. It's got all the features it needed. That's it. And so when it comes to like, well, what could we do? Well, I can think of a lot of things that we could do to try to improve it. The question is, well, why? And if we're already getting this done, what's the point? And the point is, if you can get tenfold increase off of what you're doing, then do it. If you can't, maybe it's not as interesting because, again, we've evolved to here. We put a lot of work into where we are, and we seem to be going fine with it. But the reality is, tenfold is not even close to what's possible right now. Like when you can say, you are manually scripting those CI/CD pipelines, you're manually debugging them, and you are also managing all of those environments that you're deploying to manually. Manually meaning, again, those technologies we were talking about before, where I may be going to a portal and I may be pressing buttons and clicking things to make these things happen. They're still very complex deployments that you may have to manage. Well, all of that is a moving target, and we have to script all that together. And that's really it's challenging for what it is, and a lot of companies are used to it. And I think as humans, we sort of accept, where we are, and it's I've run across this idea a number of different times where it's not until you realize there's a better way that you start feeling the anxiety of what you're doing. Sometimes it's just, I'm doing what we got to do. I'm fighting the good fight, and this is how it's got to get done. And then somebody walks in and says, well, actually, you could be doing it this way, and you'd be getting a tenfold, hundredfold improvement out of it. When if you're stuck doing that thing that you used to be doing, it's not as much fun anymore. It's not even as much as fulfilling anymore. In fact, it's pretty stressful. You think, why are we doing it this way? And this is taking so long. And this is, you have to have something to compare it to do that. And so now when we realize that we can change how fast companies work, we can change the way how much access you have to new markets, how much speed you have to beat out your competitors, how fast you can be to respond to a customer request. If all those things have changed, and all those things can now have be sitting on a different footing, what am I trying to say? A different level of productivity, then you have this responsibility to say, well, let's check that out. I mean, right, if we're still doing this the way we were doing this 17 years ago, and this is software, this is technology, that's eons. Are you sure that's still the best way? So what I'm saying is that the current approach is ubiquitous. It was a great idea. Everybody did it. And it's a traditional, ubiquitous thing. Companies all over the place, you Google it, this is the way it's done, and everybody does it that way.